What up, cooks? It's your boy, the hater, up in this piece. And as I prepare for the rest of my day, I went on WWE.com to see what I have to look forward to with respect to Monday Night Raw. I will be watching Monday Night Raw at some point or another today, and I will be doing a review probably tonight, maybe tomorrow. I don't know, it depends, but definitely we're doing a Raw review. So, I was like, I'm bored. Let's see what we're going to see on Raw today. So I go on WWE.com and I click the preview, right? So here's what we've got today. CM Punk is going to deliver a message to Drew McIntyre. Okay. Damage Control and versus like Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, as well as Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. So the continuation of this undercard feud that will never see the light of pay-per-view. New Day and Odyssey Jones versus the Final Testament, which is yet another step in the one of the most boring feuds of all time and another undercard feud. Randy Orton speaks after delivering RKO to Gunther. Sheamus brings Fight Night to NXT jobber Pete Dunne. So that's going to be a match between the two of them, presumably. Pete Dunne is an NXT jobber. Think about that right there. He's not even an undercard guy. He's an NXT guy. Then we've got Maxine Dupree, who has been wrestling for about 3 months, versus Ivy Nile, who's about 4'3", and it's just not believable in any capacity. So I'm sure there's going to be other stuff because we have 3 hours of programming. I'm sure there's going to be some Judgment Day stuff, but let's go off of what I just read, cucks. Think about how bad Raw is. This is, like, if these things happen today, and let's say nothing else happens, this will be by far the worst episode of Raw in human history. There is no other explanation. CM Punk is going to deliver a message to Drew McIntyre. What could the message be? It's going to be, I'm going to kick your ass and take back my bracelet. That's what it's going to be. Maybe he'll say, I'll kick your ass at Bash in Berlin. Who cares, right? The entire promo of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre can be just substituted by a tweet from the WWE account saying CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre whenever the hell it's going to happen next. The matches, I just ran through them. They're all shit. Then we've got Randy Orton speaks after delivering an RKO to Gunther. What is he going to say? He's going to say, the same way that I hit the RKO on you this time, I'm going to hit it again at Bash in Berlin. And you deserved it because you talked about my father, right? Just really a shitty feud. Like, I don't know why Gunther's like angry at Randy Orton or anybody else, really. So there you have it. Those are the 2 big promos that we're going to see. Now think about that for a second. Let it marinate all nice and quiet. And think about how good Raw used to be. I'm not even talking about the Attitude Era at this point, right? It's time to move past the Attitude Era because we have different benchmarks now that we can compare wrestling to and decisively and conclusively say wrestling was better in this other format, right? I randomly watched a video on the WWE YouTube channel, right? It just popped up in my feed and I clicked it. It was like John Cena as a heel, right? And it was like an hour and 20 minutes. I watched maybe 30, 40 minutes of it, right? And I watched some of it at double speed because I was waiting for certain aspects that I personally enjoy about John Cena's career. And there wasn't much of that, but there were some. And the entire point that I'm trying to make here is that literally every segment in this compilation was 100 times better than anything we've seen in the last like 3-4 years, maybe 5 years, right? There might be some exception. There might be some good pay-per-view here and there. Some good like AEW event. But generally speaking, it hasn't been good, right? And think about that. Like, there was a match. It was like John Cena versus Billy Kidman. Like, they showed like 30 minutes of it. It was more entertaining than like any match that I've seen in the last few years on Raw. Because on Raw, you get these undercard jobbers. And this was seen as an undercard jobber. But as the process went through, he kept wrestling and developing before our eyes. He would have newer moves. He developed a character, right? A lot of different things happened. A lot of different things changed. Nowadays, nothing happens and nothing changes. Like, CM Punk is still addressing Drew McIntyre. Bro, it's been 4 months. What could CM Punk possibly have to say to Drew McIntyre that he didn't say 4 months ago? This is just on and on and on the same thing. What happened to CM Punk wrestling more? How about fucking CM Punk versus, I don't know, like Dexter Lumis of the fucking Wyatt Six, which are probably not going to appear on TV again, right? Like, you might see like a Nikki Cross VHS promo where she explains why she joined the White Six like anyone gives a flying fuck. You know what I mean? But irrespective of anything else that might happen, we've been told that the preview, these are the things that they think we should look forward to. So based on this, and this is strangely the first preview of this sort that I've ever seen in my life. So maybe it's always like this every week. They do like 5 things and then more things happen. But like, for example, if Judgment Day isn't on Raw, like what the hell is there to watch? Like they're the only group or entity that has a story, you know? And when I say if they're not on Raw, I want to see them wrestle. But as it stands, the only people that we're seeing wrestle consistently, and I hope they're getting paid handsomely for this, are like Tozawa and Otis. They're the only ones that every week they're out there like throwing themselves around. You know what I mean? Like push Akira Tozawa and Otis because they're the only entity that is doing anything to earn money for this company. I don't think that when someone buys tickets to Raw, right? I don't think anyone wants to see CM Punk cut the same promo again and again and again, right? People have forgotten. I don't know how and I don't know why, but people have forgotten that cutting promos needs to be backed up with almost immediate wrestling, right? Back in the day, and as we saw in the John Cena video that I mentioned, right? Like, John Cena would cut a promo and then he'd go have a match, right? Or he'd have a match and then he'd cut a promo, right? Triple H would start every Raw for years coming out and saying, I'm the game, right? Like saying nothing basically, right? Which was really stupid, but he would also wrestle in a lot of those Raws. And even when he was a heel and he was a protected champion, he would still find himself like relevantly involved in the show. Like there would be like 6 or 7 Triple H segments throughout the night if he didn't have a match. There'd be one of him backstage. There'd be one with him and Stephanie. Road Dogg would come and like say, I can't believe like the APA got us again, right? Someone would come and ask for Triple H to make a match because he had like that authority even back then, right? So we had all of these things that were happening, all these kind of developments. But nowadays, it's basically a bunch of people that don't speak English. They come out there, they growl, right? The few people that do speak English well and can cut a promo are not allowed to cut promos. And what else is there like left to watch, right? Well, apparently, you know, we have CM Punk is going to deliver a message to Drew McIntyre. CM Punk's like almost 50, bro. Let's see. CM Punk, let's look Wikipedia his ass. Oh, he's 45. He looks like he's 50. You know what I'm saying? He's 45. He's only got a few years left in him anyways, right? So at 45, he's just wasting his time cutting promos. He can cut them when he's 60. You can give him a Paul Ellering gimmick, and then that could be it, you know? I don't care what happens to him afterwards, nor now, to be honest. But the idea that he's going to come out and deliver a message to Drew McIntyre, it's like all that everyone does in this fucking company, especially on Raw, but on SmackDown too, all that everyone does is they deliver messages. Like, it's gotten to the point now where we have an entire angle that's been happening for 3 months where every week that Nikki Cross, who is obviously retarded, dresses up like a ghost and delivers a tape to Michael Cole, right? And then they play the tape and nobody says, hey, can you bring the rest of the tapes so we can play them all in a row and move on with our lives, right? All she does now, Nikki Cross, who is a wrestler, right, who went and presumably learned how to wrestle, all she does now is deliver videotapes. What do you do for a living? I'm a WWE employee. Oh, are you a wrestler? No, I dress up as a ghost and deliver tapes. Can you think of anything more humiliating? Like, this is humiliating on a job level, right? Where it's like, yo, I'm a wrestler, let me wrestle. You know what I mean? Nobody wrestles, and on the other side in AEW, which is supposed to be like a wrestling company, right? Like, nobody wants to wrestle, right? Where the fuck is Sammy Guevara? Like, I haven't seen this guy in like 10 months, it feels like, you know what I mean? Now, granted, I've skipped a few AEWs, but you understand what I'm saying, and it's not just him. I'm just saying, generally speaking, you have all these people that just don't show up, they're just getting a paycheck. You know, this is unacceptable, man. What happened to just having wrestling on every week and having both a promo and a wrestling match? It's okay for Cucky Rhodes to come out in a suit, cut a promo, and then have a match against Santos Escobar. You know, if it needs to be that. If nobody can take a loss, maybe Santos can take a loss. He's going to take one anyways against LA Knight. So, like, just have some matches, you know? Like, everybody is basically a loser. Like, in the entire WWE, everyone is, like, either stupid, retarded, or a loser. Like, you have LA Knight. He was going after the WWE title against Roman Reigns. Now he's happy being U.S. champion. What? He should be like, I want to be WWE champion too, right? Everybody should want to be WWE champion. We've established that 100 times. But the way things are going now, it's like nobody wants to be champion and nobody wants to watch Raw. You know what I'm saying? That's why, believe you me, motherfucks, when this shit goes to NXT, it's going to get a boost because you're going to have John Cena and The Rock. But after that, it's all downhill from here, Cugs. Yeah, I got to tell you. Take care of yourselves. Cugs!